everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes every. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dance. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love, something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love, something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see who's on here. We got Dr. Colleen. Good morning to you, Chuck B. Bert Reggiani. Good morning. Good morning. So today we are in Psalms 119, verses 105, sorry, through 112. Nikki Chason, good morning. All right. So let me pull up this passage on our screens. And then also almost knocked the computer off. Oh, Pastor Tom's over there on X. Good morning. And he's in house. He's probably gonna come over here in a minute. So let's go ahead. Let me make this a little bigger for you. Doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, there we go. Hopefully you can read that. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. I have taken an oath and confirmed it that I will follow your righteous laws. I have suffered much. Preserve my life, Lord, according to your word. Accept, uh, accept, Lord, the willing praise of my mouth, and teach me your laws. Though I constantly take my life in my hands, I will not forget your law. The wicked have set a snare for me, but I have not strayed from your precepts. Your statues are my heritage forever. They uh, are the joy of my heart. My heart is set on keeping your decrees to the very end. Whew. Oh, so beautiful. So good. I gotta make that a little smaller. Um, there's so much here. And so let's just go at it from the start. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. Um, and hey, Connie, good morning. Um, and I was thinking a lot about this morning. But you know, I just think it's beautiful, right? So in the New Testament, Jesus talks about how narrow is the path. Um, Wide is the path to destruction, narrow is the path to eternal life. Um, but I just love that he lights that path, right? This isn't like this. Oh man, I can't see in front of me. I can't, like I'm stumbling. I'm like no, he lit the path. Like he's made he made a way for us to get to him that's not confusing, right? Like his word is a lamp to our feet and a light on our path. Guys, there's a path that all of us are on, right? And he's brought us together. We're walking each other home, and he's illuminated the path for us, and so we don't have to question what's right and what's wrong, right? Like all of us know in our hearts we have this own. He says in another place in the New Testament where he says, "My law will I write on your heart." And so all of us have this we know, like there's this knowing, like I can walk into a situation and nobody has ever told me not to do this or not to do that. There's just knowing, like I know that I'm not supposed to go down that path. I'm supposed to do this. And that is evidence of the Holy Spirit and the just the blood of Christ. So he's illuminated our path. And sometimes, or we were kind of talking about this earlier. Um, I was with Pastor Tom, but I was thinking about like that song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine," and I was thinking like, man, like, oh yeah, God's giving me this like lantern and I'm walking on this path. But what if it's not just a lantern, or like what if it's like Revelation where he himself is the source of light, right? Like there's no sun there, like he's illuminating the world that we live in. He's illuminating everything. Like we're walking, it's like daytime. But the source and the source of that light is God. Like he's illuminating it all, and we get to see because of his presence. um Man, like that's the life. I think that's the life and life more abundantly, when we can live in a world that's illuminated by him. Like every single thing that we look on, that we see, that we touch, that we interact with, is illuminated by him. That we see his presence all over it. We see his perspective of in every situation, because he's given it life. He's given it light, right? And so the only reason I can see it is because of is because of him. And so how I see it is from him. I don't know how to word that.
So take the two thoughts that Jesus says, I am the light of the world.
Yeah.
And then secondly, follow me.
Come on.
If you take your idea of light and how it is him illuminating it,
Yeah.
then it's not obscure. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
It just requests our heart to,
Yeah.
to follow that light no matter what,
Yeah.
and not to go squirrel. Right? Right?
Mhm.
Whether it's wind or waves or what desire or something I want, doesn't matter.
Mm.
The fact is, there is no reason not to hit it because it's light and it's bright and it's true and it's there. And
Come on.
we can only choose not to follow it and just choose darkness.
Yeah. Come on. So good. So good. That reminds me of Benji yesterday. He was
Yes.
asking, how does the Lord speak?
How does he speak?
So Benji,
Who made him?
this was for you. Yeah, he had some
Who
great
made him and
questions.
how does he speak?
Yes. Oh man. So Benji, and Teresa, if you're out there, you should take Benji through Psalms 119 verses 5 through 12. But let's just keep going. And so I have taken an oath and confirmed it that I will follow your righteous laws. And that's exactly what you were talking about, right? Like, so he's illuminated and he says, now follow me. And so we're going to follow him, right? Like if this is the owner's manual, right? For our lives, then why wouldn't we follow? Why wouldn't we?
Because you got to let something go.
Hmm.
Everyone who followed Jesus let something go. Let nets go.
Yeah.
Let tax collecting booth go.
Yeah.
That's why we don't want to let go. Hence why I'm preaching all the time. What do you got to let go of?
Yeah. And why are we holding on to it? Like what is that thing that we're holding on to? And I think a lot of times, have you ever been in a situation where so there's this Christmas where I got Adrian. I was new, right? It was early on in our marriage. I got Adrian a mixer for Christmas, right? I know my error, okay, and don't give.
I think it's a great gift.
Don't give don't give mixers and appliances for Christmas. I got it, okay. But it was early on in my marriage, right? But so I give her this mixer. But that wasn't the only gift. There was more under there, and so she was bummed, right? Or she felt a little down that this is my only gift. I'm gonna get a mixer so I can cook something. But then there was more there, right? And I was just thinking about and sometimes we, in our perspective, we think like, man, I have to hold on to this because I don't know what's next. I don't know what is. Yeah, I don't know what else is out there. I don't know, and so we try to hold on to these things. We try to because we think that this is the best it's gonna get, right? And we fail to see, man, that God is everything in this world. Everything that this world has to offer us is a cheap counterfeit to who Christ is. We've settled for something that is less than. Yes, Bert Reggiani is it like a vacuum, right? Yeah, don't do it. But I think there's a bad example, but I think what I'm getting at is there's so many times where we think about what's in our hand is like, I don't see something being better than this. But then once we see it, once we actually turn and we look at him, we were like, oh my goodness. And we like, why was I wasting my time with this thing? Why I would gladly forsake this. It's like that passage where this guy, he finds this treasure in a field, and he goes back and he sells everything so that he could possess that land. And it's like, man, what are we, those other things that he sold off, those are things that are in our hand. If we actually saw Christ for who he is, and his value, his worth, we would throw everything else away. You know, I talk about this a lot, like when I'm describing God on the streets, and I ask people like, all right, so we all know that person that is like the life of the party, right? Like that person that, man, if this person is gonna be there, it's gonna be like we're gonna jam, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be awesome. Um, or we think about like that person is just a small fragment of who God is. Like that person is just, he just has a small facet of God. God is infinitely more entertaining and fun, more of a life of the party than this person. Um, and and that's true with everything. Like everything, any pleasures in this world, anything in this world, like God is so much better, right? And so we a lot of times the enemy likes us to think about religion and think about church as like, man, if you come to Christ, you got to give up this and you got to give up that, you got to give up this. But it's not a have to, it's a get to. It's just like, man, I'm gonna stop wasting my time with this, right? Like I don't want to waste my time with these drugs, right? Because in the morning I'm gonna have a hangover. But with God, I'm just going higher and higher. um, you know what I mean? There's no coming down. Like it's just better and better. Each wave of his glory is significantly and it's yeah, immeasurably greater than the first wave. And it's forever, it's eternity of that. That's why eternity is so long. It's because it's going to take us that long to get all that he has for to give us. And it's just good. It's good news. And so I've taken an oath. Uh, I've taken an oath and confirmed it that I will follow your righteous laws. I have suffered much. Preserve my life, Lord, according to your word. Um, Man, it's already 17 minutes.
You did like me, one verse, man. You gave one verse down.
Whoops. um, I've suffered much. Preserve my life, Lord, according to your word. And so I love this too because like we in this life we will face troubles. We will face trials. We're gonna suffer a little, but the beautiful thing is that Christ has suffered more than we ever could. We have a relatable God, a God that has been through anything that we could ever go through, 10 times more. Right? We would say, man, this person talks about me, or people have talked about him. This person spit in my face, or they spit in his face first, right? And so he's relatable. Anything that you are facing, anything he was tempted in every single way without sinning, and so he has the path to success. And so whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're faced with or going through, you can go to him, and he can show you the way out of it, um, and give you peace in the midst of it. Um, and I just love this. Preserve my life according to your word. So it's like a promise that that you will persevere. You will go, like, yeah, you're going to make it out of that thing. Um, it's a promise in scripture. Except, Lord, the willing praise of my mouth and teach me your laws. I don't know if I can get through all this in before we have to start prayer. But I love this. Uh, Giving a free will offering of our lips. Accept Lord, the willing praise of my mouth, and teach me your laws. And so often um, we come to church, and a lot of people, we go through this like, oh, just a checkbox, right? It's just a checkbox. I got to do this. Oh, I came to church, I paid my tithes, I did this. um but God is less, he's less concerned about us clicking a box, but as he's more concerned about our heart posture in clicking those boxes. It's not like, man, I'm not giving my tithes just because, hey, I'm gonna get a blessing. I know if I give this tithe, I'm gonna get blessed, and can't beat God giving all. Like no, it's more this like, God, I would gladly give this up for the sake of relationship. I love pouring into the kingdom. I love, right. He's looking for your heart, um, and this free will of just like, yeah, my heart posture is just, I'm for you. I'm with you, not out of duty, but out of relationship. Right? There's things that we do for like our spouses, not because we have to, but because we love them, and we know that this will bring them joy. And this will put a smile on their face, and putting a smile on their face puts a smile on my face. And so it's this free will, this offering, this praise from our mouth, and sometimes in the midst of struggle, in the midst of going through stuff, like, hey, this situation sucks, but God, you're good. you know um and so I'm just gonna end it there, but there's so much more here, and yeah, yeah, that good.
Beautiful.
Come on. All right. So don't go out buying your bride vacuum cleaners and mixers. Um, yeah. I love you guys. I hope this was an encouragement to you. And yeah, let's do that. Um, let's let God illuminate the world we live in, and let's follow after His will, letting go of those things that don't matter. They're not eternal. They're fleeting. They're fading away. Let's hold on to something that's going to last forever. Hope that blesses you. Love you guys. Peace.